Kin gathered close at the hearth, where the flames flicker low. Hear me now, what shadows fall upon our young of a hearth-tender, once bound in the shared labor of kin, turns her hands from the fire's tending, and demands the hunter's full yield, leaving the little ones to shiver while she hoards the warmth for herself alone?
In the dim glow of that first night, as embers cooled untended, the hunter returned from the trails with baskets heavy from the wild yields, only to find the hearth-tender barring the threshold, her voice sharp as a blunted tool. Your share stays with me, for the young are mine to claim. The little ones huddled in the corner, their small hands idle without her guidance, while the hunter's arms ached from carrying what fed no one fully.
By dawn's light in the fields where the kin once bent together to turn the soil, the hearth-tender scattered the seeds unevenly, keeping the ripest sheaves for her own storehouse while sending word through the paths that the hunter must bring more from distant pastures, though he now walked alone.
The young watched from the fence line. Their lessons in planting forgotten as tools lay rusting in the dew. What strength remains in a household kin when one claims the harvest without sharing the sweat that breaks the earth?
Days turned to weeks, and the sprouts withered under unshared labor, the kin network whispering of broken reciprocity, as neighboring fields sent fewer hands to aid, their own yields guarded closer now.
At the workshop by the riverbank, where elders once passed flint, napping and basket weaving to the youth, the hearth-tender gathered the young around her alone, murmuring of the hunter's fumbled strikes and wayward paths, twisting tales of shared hunts into shadows of neglect.
The boy's first spear, half-carved, splintered unused, the girl's loom threads tangled without the steady rhythm of two hands guiding.
Hours stretched into moons, and the young's voices grew faint in the circle, echoing her words like wind through untrodden trails. How does skill pass unbroken, kin, if one voice drowns the other's proven ways?
The hunter's offerings arrived by runner, but the hearth-tender poured them into her hidden cache, claiming need for her burdens while the workshop echoed empty.
In the council circle at the settlement's heart, under the great oak where kin networks bound oaths over shared fires, the hearth-tender spoke smoothly, her face calm as still water, recounting ledgers of the hunter's missed dawns and short yields, though she had turned away his steps herself.
Distant stewards nodded, swayed by her woven counts on bark, scraps, granting her claim to his labors while the young stood silent, their eyes distant as if rehearsed.
Seasons shifted, frosts claiming the outer pastures. What trust endures in the wider kin? Kin, when one crafts tallies from half-truths, fraying the bonds that guard against lean winters.
Neighboring households drew inward, their reciprocity chilled, sending no more goats or grain in the old exchanges.
Along the boundaries where paths met the wild woods, the hearth-tender moved her hearthstones farther from the shared lands, scattering the young's routines and making the hunter's visits sparse as winter sun.
Travelers passing through eyed the fractured stead with caution, offering no aid to what seemed unsteady, while elders coughed unanswered in the cold corners, their stories of endurance fading unheard.
Years gathered like fallen leaves, the land's stewardship faltering, fields gone to bramble, rivers fished thin by untaught hands. How does the lineage stand whole, kin, when one hoards access to the young, letting elders' wisdom scatter like ash on untended ground?
Return now to this hearth, kin, where flames we tend together cast sure light. If such turning from shared labor persists, households fracture like dry clay under frost, elders sit voiceless with cold limbs, young grow hungry amid idle tools, trust crumbles to whispers unspoken, skills vanish with the unpassed spear and loom, lands revert to wild neglect, and the lineage thins to echoes. Gone the strong circle, undone by one who claimed the yield but shunned the fire's duty.
Heed the ember's warning, let reciprocity bind us, or watch the shadows claim all.
Kin gathered close at the hearth, where flames leap steady and true. If the echoes of elders quicken your spirit with their ancient call, bear that spark into the open air, voice it among the trails, weave it into the daily rounds, and let your steps affirm its hold.
Every whisper passed along bolsters the chain of seeking, nourishing the toil of insight that binds one age to the next.
Your words, woven into the gathering, sustain the quest for what lies clear, probing not just the inner paths but the woven ways of the lands we claim as ours.
Etch your signs in the shared spaces, through tales retold or thoughts laid bare, and tread the routes our forebears marked toward the wells of wisdom.
Stand firm in this tending, and you uphold the flame, letting the teachings of those gone before flow unbroken through the turning seasons.